Good morning, morning, afternoon, whenever you watch this. KNES 597. I'm Dr. Brian Campbell. I'm going to be your professor and instructor for this course. Not going to take too long, but I just wanted to kind of give everyone a heads up. This course was designed to try to ergonomically deliver helpful information and advice for you guys as you continue your journey into graduate school and life and being a young professional and uh, eventually a veteran professional where you could turn around and pass along information you've learned along the way to the next generation. So uh, class is, Moodle and the syllabus, but I kind of want to break down kind of how it goes at the end. And so now I'll just tell you a little bit about myself and how professional development got where Brian got me to where I am today and how some of these lessons might be able to help you. So you'll hear in some of the videos, some of my podcast videos, I'm a big believer in um, fortune or luck is where preparedness meets opportunity. Um, and it's not what you know. You're going to hear me say this a couple of times. It's not what you know, and it's not who you know, it's who knows you. And the way you get people to know who you are is to mostly network. And networking could be at work itself, conferences, conventions, open houses, um, or just scheduling a meeting with somebody and go and pick their brain over lunch or coffee or tea. So, by trade, I was an athletic training major. I'm from a little small town south of here called Delcom, Louisiana, a little shrimping town, and not a lot of people left home. Um, and so I came here to UL Lafayette because I was afraid to travel too far. And I heard that there were graduate assistantships in athletic training, but I didn't really have great grades and um, I didn't really know anybody. And so I took a chance. I invested in myself. I took a gamble on a national convention for athletic trainers. I was the only student to go. I was by myself, and my mom and dad helped me. They loaned me some money to go to this conference, and I was just looking to. My grades couldn't speak for me. My grades weren't good enough, so I had to go meet people and try to show that I was willing to do it. I could do it outside of my grades. And so I'm sitting in an airplane, one of the first times I ever flew, terrified. And I'm sitting next to a gentleman, and had on a Southern Miss shirt on. And he said, "Where are you heading?" And I told him Kansas City for a conference, and told him, and he's like, "Oh, well, what for?" And I told him I was looking for a graduate assistantship, pay for grad school, and do athletic training. And so he lets me tell my whole story, and I said, what are you going to Kansas City for? And he says, I'm going to the same conference. And he said, we're actually going to look for athletic trainers. And that was an interview. Didn't even realize it. That was my first interview at the conference. And needless to say, I found my way at Southern Mississippi. And so my grades didn't get me to Southern Miss. Putting myself in a position to network and to have an interview that was exclusive to me. I didn't plan it that way, but you just have to be ready. And when I was at Southern Mississippi, a position opened up at Auburn. And again, my grades weren't great. I have dyslexia. And so that was challenging, keeping my grades up. I was trying, but it was hard. And so when my boss at Southern Miss said, why don't you give a friend of mine a call about a new position they're creating? And so I did. And she said, where are you from? I was like, Louisiana. She's like, where are you from in Louisiana? I was like, South Louisiana. She said, what town are you from? And I said, I'm from Delcom, Louisiana. And she says, oh, well, I'm from St. Martinville, which is a little town not too far from here. And we ended up, she graduated from UL, and we worked under the same people, just different times. And so when I went to interviewed well enough, and I got that position, not because of my grades, but because of networking. Now, this isn't to say grades aren't important. Grades are very important. But if you're competing with other people for a limited number of positions or jobs or your dream jobs, it's what can you also do or improve on and develop. And in other words, when grades are tied, when you're competing with someone and they have the same grades as you, they have the same GRE as you, they have the same everything as you, what little things can put set you apart? And that's where I think this class is going to come in handy. When I finished at Auburn, my doctorate is in biomechanics, physics and applied human movement. And I wrote an email to my professor, my favorite professor when I was over here, but he didn't know that. I was kind of shy. And I just wrote him an email saying thank you for being the inspiration in my journey. And I'm about to graduate with a doctorate in biomechanics from Auburn, and I owe it all to you because you were my first A at UL, and you really explained things in a way I could understand. Just wanted to send him some thanks. I know you don't know who I am, but I just wanted to let you know. And he replied back to me, said, let's have lunch when you're back in town. I was like, yes, sir. I didn't make any ask. I didn't make any requests. I just sent him a thank you email. And when we had lunch, he said, I'm thinking about retiring. And you sound like somebody who would be a good replacement. You come from here, you know how I teach. You've obviously expanded your knowledge on it, bringing new things here. And he did. He retired, and I was able to take his place and teach the same classes that inspired me to go off to graduate school. So it's kind of cool. Since the 1970s, there's been two people to teach anatomical kinesics and biomechanics, and through networking, that's how I got my dream job coming back here and teaching. Dr. Georgia passed away this earlier this year. Absolute legend. So that's kind of my story, and I've always been a big proponent for networking, and it is a developed skill. Public speaking's a developed skill. Asking, I don't say the right questions, but just having a conversation is a developed skill. Resume writing, developed skill. You know, all these different things that we've kind of been introduced to, we can develop and we can master, and we keep learning trends and techniques and tech. And so that's what this class is about. So we're going to have pre some podcasts that I filmed last semester that I think has some really good information. Why not use it if it was really good conversation? Dr. Mayo was my first guest. So kind of the first half of class is going to be watching and doing the assignments from my previous podcast guests. And then the second half, we're going to customize it to you guys. And we'll kind of adapt, improvise, overcome as we go along. Maybe that is you guys get comfortable to do a podcast with someone that is specific in your area. And I'm going to help you do it. Like maybe we do a mock podcast with you and we just kind of practice having conversations and asking questions. And we don't even post it to the world, just between you and I that we can watch and learn from before you do your interview with someone in your concentration and someone in your interest world. I think that sounds kind of cool and applicable. Remember, this class is really designed to get you guys information, knowledge, techniques, strategies to help build your career. And so that's what I'm going to do, and that's what I'm going to try to do for you guys. So again, my name is Dr. Brian Campbell. I'm going to be your instructor, and I hope everyone is well. And we're going to hopefully make this a very impactful fall semester. Be well.